What's up everybody, Smooth Cosplayer here, your favorite salsa dancing cosplayer, bringing you guys another costume spotlight. This one is going to be on my Cobra Python Patrol Viper. This one I debuted at DragonCon 2015 during the DragonCon parade. Now, the year leading up to that, I decided I wanted to get in on the parade. I had been to DragonCon a couple of times. I had seen the parade. I always saw my, not the first time I saw the G.I. Joe crew coming through there watching the parade. I was not in the club yet, but once I joined the club, I found out that their tradition was having what they call a sea of blue, which is, if you look at the Cobra Troopers, the Cobra Vipers, they're all dark blue and black and pretty much a lot of blue. So that's where they get this whole sea of blue thing. Basically, the whole club would dress up as, Cobra characters. Now, of course, you may have some other people who aren't with the club but still march in the parade, and they'll dress up as G.I. Joe characters. So I wanted to get in on the parade, but you know me. If you watch any of my other videos, I like taking the road less traveled. I like bringing light to characters that aren't really, that don't really get a lot of shine, aren't super popular. So I wanted to get in on the parade. I wanted to conform and be a villain like the rest of the club, but I wanted to do something that wasn't, I didn't want to just be just another Cobra Viper. I didn't want to be just another Cobra Trooper. So I started thinking, what can I do? What can I do that stands out a little bit but still fits in with being a villain? And I remember seeing Lin King. Big shout out to Lin King and the name escapes me. Pit Viper Studios. Big shout out to Pit Viper Studios. So Lin and this crew there. I saw a picture of Lin posing with Yaya Han, and he was dressed as a Cobra Python Patrol Viper. And when I saw that, it reminded me of how much I loved all the repaints of the G.I. Joe characters. You had Tiger Force, you had Python Patrol for Cobra, Slaughter's Marauders, Night Patrol, Sky Patrol, so many other repaints of pre-existing characters, pre-existing vehicles. And I always liked Python Patrol, even though the colors, if you look back now, the colors were a little bit ugly. The colors were, and they didn't match. You're supposed to be camouflaged, but yet you're like the brightest thing out there. But that's neither here nor there. You don't care about that when you're a little kid. But anyway, the Python Patrol Viper, I love the fact that instead of it being just a dark blue helmet with a reflective visor, it was black and red. My favorite colors are black and red, so that was right down my alley. Now the rest of the color scheme, nobody really likes the Python Patrol color scheme, but we still, for some reason, fall in love with the series. So I decided to go with that. I'm like, okay, this is my way of being a villain, but I'm not going to just be another blue person in the crowd. This one will kind of stand out. So went ahead with that. Now, the Python Patrol Viper, this is to this day one of my most expensive cosplays, because that helmet by itself, even when I caught it on sale, it was like $250 maybe. Yeah, now don't get me wrong, it sounds like I'm complaining about the price, but that is some excellent craftsmanship. So again, one more shout out to Lin King and Pit Viper Studios. If you not just G.I. Joe stuff, I've seen them make some really sick Robotech helmets. I forget what other genres they make from, but yeah, they do some amazing work. It is well worth the money. If you need something like that, go give them a holler. All right. Anyway, so got the helmet. I did that first because that was going to be the most expensive part of it, but it cost me about $250 or so. I got my BDUs together, got my mole vest, and that was a hard part there, because I was sitting there wondering, how am I going to paint this thing? Because it had I'll just put a picture up so you guys can see it, but there was a pattern on the vest there, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make this happen. So fortunately, I found a local guy who does airbrushing, and he was able to get that airbrushed the way that I needed it. So got that done, got the BDUs, got BDU pants, the shirt. I ended up buying some forearm guards for the arm braces. I would eventually sew them once I started, learning how to sew. I eventually did them. They worked. They wasn't the best job in the world, but they did their job. So that the combat boots, those were easy. Yeah, it once I got past the helmet, once I got past getting the mole vest airbrushed. Oh, other hard part, I had to get a big shout out to my girl Naya again. I gave her a shout out in my previous costume spotlight for Virgil. She did a good sewing job for me because there's the yellow parts that go on top of the shoulder, on the vest, on the sides of the vest, on the side of the pants. I had to have those sewn. And at the time, I was not very good at sewing, so I got her to do those. Now, I ended up sewing them myself again later because the pants that I bought were way too big. Lesson for you guys: if you end up having to get anything from any army store or order anything from an army store, make sure you get them a little, maybe a size smaller, because they tend to run big. So if you get something that's your size and maybe bigger than you expect. So I ended up getting another pair of BDUs and getting that getting them smaller, and they fit. But that also meant that I had to redo the yellow padding on the side. So actually was able to sew them myself. Didn't do too bad of a job. Pretty decent if I say so myself. Again, I'm not a master sewer, seamstress, whatever. But it did the job for what I had. So that is one of my favorite cosplays, but I have a love-hate relationship with it because it's it's the cosplay that I feel like I look my best in, but I'm the least comfortable in. Let me tell y'all, walking in the Dragon Con parade, like the moment I put that thing on, we didn't even started walking yet, and there's a waterfall going down my back, and that's one of the things where I'm like, you just have to embrace the sweat. You're not going to get relief from that heat. You're not going to get relief from that sweat. You just got to suck it up, basically. But yeah, like I said, I feel like I look just bad A in that. I love how I look. I can't stand how I feel in it, so I don't stay in that costume very long. Oh, another thing, that red visor, I love how it looks on the outside. If you look at it on the inside, you can't see jack. Like, the only time I wear that helmet is when it's outside and it's completely lit, like complete sunlight, nothing overcast, anything like that. I basically came to the decision that if I'm cosplaying that character and I'm inside, I don't put that helmet on until somebody asks for a picture, because otherwise I can't see. I would show it, but there's no way I'm going to get the camera inside that helmet without undoing everything. But yeah, just trust me when I say I can't see anything unless it's completely overly lit. So yeah, that's my Cobra Python Patrol Viper. Again, one of my favorite cosplays. Not too comfortable, but I love how it looks. Gonna be bringing you guys another costume spotlight next month. That's it for me tonight, guys. Y'all have a good night. Have a good time at whatever con you're going to next. Good luck on your cosplay builds. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button for me. And I'll see y'all at the next video. Peace.
Cobra, attack!